So the backstory behind Uncensored or Uncensored Threads is my own mental illness, my own mental health struggles that I had for the past about 4.5, 5 years. My parents got divorced when I was in high school, and it was a pretty traumatic event for me, and it just caused a chemical imbalance in my brain that made me mentally ill. I struggled with anxiety, depression, self-harm, eating disorders. I was in treatment, and it took me a while to realize that I needed to take my medications, and that was what I needed. Some people need to talk, and some people need medications, and some need a combination of the two, and I needed medications. So once I finally realized after my breaking point this past October that it was time for me to take my medications and actually get back on my feet again, I started feeling 100% better, and I went into full recovery mode, which really helped me to be able to get that extra boost to finally establish Uncensored Threads and to finally get my foot in the door with it and get it going. It was something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to make some kind of impact in the mental health world, and I always enjoyed business. So I spent time trying to figure out, okay, how do I combine these two, and how do I make an impact, and how do I help with the stigma of mental health? Because I did public speaking at school districts for a while about mental health, my own mental health, and I was constantly sharing my story, and I continually realized, how much stigma there really is about mental health still. And we think, oh, it's getting better, and it is. It's a lot better than it used to be, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be. And I think that Uncensored can really be a statement in helping, end the stigma, especially in adolescence, but in all age groups too. And mental health is something that's super important because you do only get this one life, and mental illnesses have taken lives. They've taken multiple lives, and it's something that can be prevented if, we can only be there for each other and actually be open to talking about it and being open to getting the proper treatment for it. Because if someone that has cancer, you don't be like, oh, you're diagnosed with cancer, we're not going to do anything about it. It sounds dumb, right? So if someone has a mental illness, why would you not do anything about it? Especially if it can take their life in the end. So that's why I really think this is going to be a huge thing, and I really hope it can be a huge thing. I know a lot of times people are always like talking about health and this and that, and everyone's into, like fitness or whatever else, but you have to remember that mental health is a huge part of your health. And based on your mental health, there's a lot of different decisions you can make with it, and I really think it's important that we take the time to step back and focus on our mental health a little bit more and stop running in our lives, and to focus more on ourselves. So that's really the backstory, and the whole reason why I really wanted to start Uncensored Threads. It's my personal backstory where I really realized how much stigma there is still out there in the world, and how important it needs to be that people are putting an end to it. And thankfully I have a lot of people around me already that are super supportive of it. And the biggest thing with mental health is it's kind of the elephant in the room. So a lot of times when I would meet people for the first time, they would tell me, how are you so open about your mental health and everything? And I'm like, okay, listen. If I'm open about my mental health, they usually are about their own struggles too. But it takes the first person to do it for other people to follow. So that's basically the goal with Uncensored, is to get that first foot in the door about talking about it, and to kind of create like a spiral domino effect for people talking about it as well. So Uncensored means basically exactly what you think it means. It means being uncensored, or being open about things and not hiding anything. And the whole point and the whole reason I came up with the word Uncensored to name the company was basically, I want people to be uncensored about their emotions for mental health and how they feel. And because with the stigma, it's all censored, everything censored. We're all like, ooh, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, you can't talk about this, that, and other thing. And I don't understand why. Like, it's such an important thing to talk about. And I don't know where this thing came from, where, mental health, you can't talk about it or whatever else, but it's becoming a thing where it's so important to talk about because stress and the stress levels in everyone's lives, it like pushes us over the edge and we're doing way too much and we all think we can multitask and do all these things at once and we can't. And as humans in today's society, we don't know how to slow down. And this helps create our mental illnesses and our anxiety and depression, and we do more than we think that we actually can do. So uncensored is being uncensored about your mental health, being able to openly talk about it. And then the threads part of it, I could have named it Uncensored Apparel or Censored Clothing Company or something like that, but I chose the word threads because not only does it have to do with obviously clothing, but it also kind of means to push through and to go through, like threading through something. And that's what a mental illness is. You push through it and you continually push through it and you constantly work at yourself and you get to where you need to be in your life, where you're having a very good and happy life with your mental illness, because 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 people have a mental illness, and a lot of people don't realize that, but it's important to talk about, and that's why Uncensored became to be Uncensored, because more people need to talk about mental health. So I have a lot of different goals for this company. I'm not gonna spill the beans on all of them yet, but the biggest thing that I really am going to make happen is the ambassador program that I'm going to incorporate, and being able to pair people up to be supportive for one another through the program. So people that have anxiety, with their consent, I can pair them up with someone else who also has given consent to be like, yes, I want to talk to someone, probably someone that I don't know, and I want to be able to talk to them about maybe what they're going through, and I want to know their coping skills, etc. And I'm also going to have a blog as well to basically post about either a brand ambassador story or stuff that's going on in the news for mental health, or even mental illnesses that are rare and most people don't know about that they exist. And a lot of it's just educating with the blog, is just educating the public and other people about, what mental health really is, how it is to live with mental health, that you can be very successful with mental illnesses and mental health struggles. So that's basically the goals of it right now, along with obviously the apparel as well. And I'll share more once we launch later this year. So the biggest way that anyone can really get involved with Uncensored and support Uncensored is to just talk about it. Talk about Uncensored, talk about the meaning of the company, talk about your mental health, and talk about it with your friends, and just really start the conversation. That's the whole point of Uncensored, is to start this conversation so you can support Uncensored Threads by starting this conversation. Other ways you can support are if you're a photographer, a videographer, if you're a hair and makeup artist. I plan to do photo shoots for the company in most major cities, so including New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, and Wisconsin. Wisconsin because I grew up there. There's not really a major city there, but I have a lot of connections there, and that's where I grew up. So I would like to incorporate, the school I went to and the people in the city that I grew up in into Uncensored as well, as they were there for me, through my whole mental health struggles as well. So I really want to make sure that they get to be a part of this as well. And if you're just a random person, which we all are, I don't want to hire models for my photo shoots. I want it to be people of any race, any size, any ethnicity, any age, and basically, practically, the idea is just pulling random people off the street, because we all are different, and a big thing with mental health, especially eating disorders, is the media. And I want to make sure that I am not portraying any kind of perfect body image or perfect person through my website in any way or form. So that's why if you're interested in possibly being in a photo shoot, you can contact Uncensored Threads, our email, and we can try to get you hooked up with that. I can let you know the dates and times and stuff and locations. Unfortunately, they are going to be mostly in those major cities I listed previously. However, if there's enough people in a certain city that are really interested and really want to do a photo shoot, I can also arrange one in whatever city that happens to be as well. Another way you can help out with Uncensored is we're always looking for funding too. Obviously, starting any kind of company, continuing any kind of company, you constantly need funds. So if you're an investor looking to invest in a company, a very unique one, you can also contact us by that email. And basically, yeah, just if you own a shop or anything and you want to help with advertising about it, that would also be grateful. And if you're an influencer or you're like a public figure and you want to post about Uncensored on your social media or talk about it, please also contact me at Uncensored Threads email so that I can send you apparel and other products so that you can post about them as well. Currently, those are pretty much the only ways that I can think of off the top of my head that you can help out with Uncensored right now. If you have a way that you think that you can help that I haven't listed, please again contact us at uncensoredthreads@gmail.com. So I just want to take a second to thank everyone who has been supporting this movement and this campaign, whether you were a photographer who helped with it or graphic designer, literally every single person that has even opened their mouths to talk about Uncensored. I want to thank all of you for helping spread the word and helping open up the conversation about mental health and mental illnesses. This company, it's all for you guys. It's something that I'm very excited about. If you can't tell, I think it's going to be a huge thing, and I really hope to make such a huge impact with the mental health world. And honestly, like, my mindset has always been, if this company fails miserably for some reason, as long as it's helped one person get, the help they need, or I've connected to people and they've been there supporting each other, then it's not a failure, it's a success. So I'm really excited about the company, and I hope you are too. And please keep continuing to spread the awareness about mental health, mental illness, and Uncensored. Thank you guys.